Hello, you guys. Welcome back to the podcast. Okay, today I want to dive into this challenge that I am doing on Instagram. I'm also writing about it on Substack, so you can find it in all the places. It's totally free. And it's all about manifesting a quote unquote impossible goal in 90 days. So I'm giving lots of tips and trips, and I am going to summarize the first 7 days for you in this episode, so you can join in if you want. And I'm just inviting you to come along the journey of manifesting something that seems impossible to you at this time. So I'm basically sharing exactly how I manifest every single day so you can apply it to your impossible goal. And I'm obviously using the Recode app. And down below in the show notes, you can find a link to get a free 10-day trial and do your first Recode. I've created a little challenge inside the Recode app, the 90-day challenge, where I'm putting every Recode that I'm personally doing to align myself with this big, juicy, impossible goal. So you can follow along with me as well. So I'm so excited. So I am manifesting. I'm going to put this out here. It feels really big. It feels big. 50K months on repeat. So I have had, a 42K month before in my business, but I haven't had like that level of big months on repeat. So I'm looking for basically 50K months to be my new baseline. And really the main thing that I really want to manifest, I kind of chose that as a number to align myself with the number and be open to all possibilities. But really, if I could, really decide how that happened, my biggest goal is to have over 1,200 people inside the Recode app. That is my biggest dream. That is something I am so focused on. I'm obsessed with the app. It is everything to me. And that's what I really want more than anything. So that's what I'm really focused on. But I am open to any way that things get to flow. Although it is really funny. I was thinking about this, okay, what if I won the lottery or whatever? And it's so interesting because I actually, I can tell that the money isn't what I actually want, because I'm okay, great, it'd be great to win the lottery, but I would just use that money to grow my app, to impact more people, to do more of what I love without stress. What I really want is to be creating this movement of people recoding. That is what's on my heart so big. So day one is simple. It is all about setting that big, juicy goal that scares you a little bit. And make sure you're following along on Instagram or Substack if you want to go deeper with me. But we're going to go into every single day right here, right now. So day 2 is about changing the word impossible to actually allow this goal to be easy. And the first way that you can do that is look at how much resistance that has for you. So if you say, 50K months on repeat is easy for me, or whatever your goal is easy for me, how does that feel? And I want you to start opening yourself up to, what if that could be easy for me? I know it might not seem easy right now because you just set this huge, juicy, impossible goal 10 seconds ago, but what if it could be easy? Because it is easy for so many other people in the world. And the only difference between you and them is the way that you are thinking. And we can transform the way you think. That's why we have the Recode app. So it really starts with recognizing that the size of the goal is actually not directly proportional to how hard it is to achieve. So one chance meeting could have it all unfolding, like that. One viral video could change your life. One $297 challenge could make you $7 million in 10 weeks if anyone is following along with the Yap challenge. So the truth is, and what I created a Recode on for this is the first Recode inside the 90-day challenge, is that viewing your goal as, impossible, and I know that's the title of the challenge, but it's just a setting that you're currently viewing it through. It's just like a lens, and that setting can be changed. So what I do inside the first Recode is I take you obviously into hypnotic state. We do a little breath work and we activate this old belief of feeling really big and impossible and hard. And the metaphor that I use is, it's as if you're playing this video game with your goal as the final destination on the hardest extreme level. So there's obstacles everywhere and you keep dying or starting over or whatever. And then you realize this little pop-up comes up and it's you can choose your mode. Like, do you want extreme difficulty or do you want easy? And when you set it to easy, it's like things just open up for you. The little shortcuts and whatever it is, make their way to you. Do you know what I mean? Like, it is a setting. Like, we can view our life through the setting of easy, or we can view our life through the setting of very difficult. And however you are viewing it is what you are going to create. And I've experienced this so many times in my life. Like, having a 42K month in my business was the easiest month of my life. Like, it was crazy. Like, I remember, like, the craziest part about that was that $15,000 of that was, this sounds so funny, is that I had, all these different payment platforms. And I didn't realize that my PayPal payment platform had been going to this old bank account. And I just literally didn't even notice. Like, that's how free I was with money for however long that was happening. I didn't even notice that this money wasn't going into my regular bank account. And then I got like an email or something, and I went into that account and there was $15,000 sitting there that I didn't even know I had, because I just was delusionally living my best life. So it's like things like that will happen. That is easy mode. I didn't have to work for that. I just discovered it. Like, I didn't even know that wasn't there, right? So that is what that recode does, is that it allows that big, impossible, stretchy goal to start to feel like, what if this could actually be easy? What if this could unfold even faster than 90 days? And just like allow yourself to percolate on those possibilities. So, that is the first option that you have in terms of the recode, is the easy mode on inside the 90-day challenge. And I highly, highly recommend that one if you want to start feeling like, oh, it's actually not that big of a deal. Like, so many infinite possibilities can happen for this goal to come that you don't even realize, right? Like, yeah. So anyway, then we go into day 3. So day 3 is something I've talked about so many times around manifesting a big goal, is to get very clear on the feeling that I will feel upon completion of this goal, and then spending dedicated time each day feeling the frequency of it. And by frequency, I mean that feeling state. And remember, you can't fake frequency. So it's like, what is the full, genuine, embodied state that you would feel if this was part of your identity? Or part of your reality and identity. And then it's actually about genuinely feeling that. You can't just be like, oh, I'd be happy. It's like, okay, what does happiness feel like in your body? You feel lighter, your chest opens up, you find it easier to laugh, you feel more open, you feel like just like this heart opening, loving energy, right? Like, actually connect with the feeling of happiness in your body. So I think of this as like my GPS. When I'm in that feeling state, I am a vibrational match for that desire, and I will receive the downloads, the connections, the nudges, the opportunities required to make it happen when I exist on that frequency. So that really is the how. Like, when you exist on that frequency, you will be led. So day 3 is like, spend 2 minutes each day at least feeling the feelings. Place yourself there. So when I'm making 50K months on repeat, oh my gosh, I will feel so fulfilled, so on purpose, so in my highest expression of what I am put on this earth to do. I will feel so at peace and at ease. I will feel abundant, like all of those things. The main thing to me is like, I feel like I'm doing what I came here to do. It feels purposeful. It feels like, yes, I am meant to be massively compensated for the work that I do in this world, especially with the Recode app. And it's just like this feeling of total satisfaction and contentment. It's like peace and presence. So I also do this especially when I'm listening to my rise and when I'm listening to my rest. So the rise track is really designed to uplift your emotional state, and you're meant to listen to it each day, like as you're getting ready or on a walk or driving, whatever, on the go. And that is the perfect opportunity to habit stack, listening to the rise and feeling the feelings of already having that desire. Okay. So then we've got day 4, which is about transforming your identity. And one of the most powerful ways that you can begin to transform your identity is seek evidence of the shifts that are happening and write them down and notice them and compounding them. So the more that you can show your brain that things are shifting in any way that you can, the faster the momentum is going to pick up and be reflected back to you in your reality. And for me, that means getting a little bit delusional and I start making everything mean it's working. So last week, the recode that I was doing was everything works out like better than I ever imagined. And I started feeling into that constantly and noticing every single way a task worked out better than I imagined. A workout felt better than I imagined. A drive went easier than I imagined. A time with Jaden went better than I imagined. A work session, a real planning, whatever. Anything and everything that worked out better than I imagined. And within probably 4 days of that recode, I was like, holy shit, literally everything works out better than I ever imagined. And it felt so true. And before I did that, I was at like a 3 out of 10. Like I was not believing that everything was working out better than I imagined. I was believing the opposite. And that is the power of seeking evidence and continuing to tell a new story. And that is what you do inside the Recode app with whatever recode you are doing. So the more that you can show your brain that things are shifting, the faster the momentum is going to pick up. So I am writing down in the app all day long, things that are working out better than I imagined. Or I also did the It's Easy recode. So ways in which things just felt easy to me or came easily to me. Getting money overnight, having people sign up for a year inside the Recode app, having all these payments come in. It was easy. I was camping over the weekend and I doubled the amount of people inside the app. That was so easy, right? I wasn't even working. The real ideas coming to me for this 90-day challenge is so easy. So I've got easy mode turned on, right? And in terms of like at the beginning, this doesn't have to relate to the goal specifically. Like if I'm feeling resistant around 50K months feeling easy, I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, it's so easy. Like, no, I'm just looking for anything that is easy. So go more general because your brain automatically starts applying general examples to almost everything. Like your brain starts to generalize. Generalize? Am I saying that right? Yeah. So it's like if I start viewing these little things as easy for me, it starts to generalize. Oh, that can also be easy for me. This gets to be easy for me. Like it's like this identity that we start to take on. But you have to start that. You have to choose and decide and start writing down and noticing all day long things that felt easy or whatever the recode is that you're doing. Even if it's the most ridiculously tiny thing that's always been easy for me, it doesn't matter. I'm like, making my bed was easy for me this morning. Getting out of bed was easy for me this morning. Like, I'm a morning person. I always jump out of bed, but like, oh, I feel more energized than usual. Like, whatever it is, it will start spreading into everything you do until within a week, it will become literally a part of your identity where it's like, yes, of course, things are easy for me. Of course they are. So yeah, love that. That is day 4. And then we go into day 5. And it's kind of a continuation of this where inside the app, you are also seeking evidence of the glimmers and good things and adding them to the list. Because the more you can feel fulfilled and satisfied and content in this current reality, the more magnetic you are and the faster you're going to manifest things. When you are good either way, you can create literally anything. But if you're feeling lack and frustration and I don't like where I am and I need things to change and I need to fix it, you're not a match for the desire. You're in this state of something is missing, something is wrong, and you're going to continue to manifest that. So we want to find as much joy and happiness and contentment and satisfaction in this current moment, which is exactly why we have that proof winning streak evidence list overall list inside the app where you're just noticing the good, the glimmers, like, oh, Jaden crawling into my bed in the morning and having the best snuggle, or him randomly hugging me and telling me that he loves me so much. Like, oh my God, my heart wants to explode. And I put that on my list and I feel like I don't just notice it in the moment. I notice it in the moment and then I write it down, because when you write it down, you're training your brain, you're training your reticular activating system to be like, more of this, notice more of this. You're continuously seeking the good moments. You're training your brain. And then you're compounding it. You're creating this law of attraction because you're amplifying that feeling. It's not just a fleeting, like, oh, that's so cute. Jaden hugged me and told me he loved me. I'm still thinking about that moment when he came up to me and he hugged around my legs and he just all out of nowhere said, Mom, I love you so much. Like, oh, like that is a moment that when I'm still gaining, like I'm still how do I say it? I'm still using that moment to elevate my vibration instead of just, focusing on the times when he was a little brat. Instead, it's like that moment is elevating me still today, right? So all day long, I encourage you to notice the glimmers of contentment, of happiness, of good moments, and expand them and compound them by celebrating them and writing them down. So that is day 5, obsessively notice the good. And then we have day 6, and this one is all about getting into the feeling of certainty and it is done energy instead of wasting all of your precious energy waffling, because stepping into certainty is not about something changing out there that all of a sudden has you feeling certain. That is never going to happen. Feeling certainty and, connecting with the feeling that it's done is a decision. You have always got to go first. The world is reflecting you and your own beliefs and decisions. And if you want to create something, you must be willing to decide, and you will be rewarded like majorly for that decision. So imagine this big goal that you've set as a trip that you've been contemplating. And there's time spent in that waffling energy. Should I go on this trip? Can I afford to go on this trip? Where should I go on this trip? When should I go on this trip? You're considering all the options. And then there is a moment of true decision where you're like, I'm going on these dates. I'm booking my flight, confirm, right? You are still sitting in the same living room in front of your computer, but you have changed. You have made a new decision, right? When you make the decision, you shift out of, am I going? And you shift into, what do I need to do to prepare for this trip? And that is a very different energy. That is what creates manifestations. You are shifting out of deliberation and you're shifting into preparation. So a decision changes the way you relate to the future before the future physically arrives. And this is so important, because if you're just sitting around waiting for things to change, you're going to be sitting around waiting for things to change forever. They're not going to change. You need to go first, right? So when you make that decision, all of a sudden you're not looking around and saying, oh my God, it's not here yet. What am I doing wrong? You're saying it's not here yet and I'm going. I'm so excited for the unfolding of where I'm headed, right? This is the most powerful energy you can live from, especially when you feel like nothing is happening. So, of course, I created a recode for this. I did it last night before bed. I think it's my favorite recode ever. Like, I felt it so deeply, like the memory reconsolidation moment in the recode. I just felt this overwhelming sense of like, oh, yes, I can feel that shift. I can feel that difference in my body between the deliberation of like, am I doing this? Am I not doing this? To like, I am doing this. Like, it is decided. So I want you to imagine that big goal you've set is a done deal on the calendar at or before the end of the 90 days, which is, by the way, November 16th. So yes, I have a recode for that. I highly recommend. You have a 10-day free trial. Go use it. Go do these free codes because they will change your life. It is going to powerfully transform a whole cluster of subconscious limiting beliefs around waffling and feeling unsure and am I or aren't I? Can I do this? Is it actually working? Will it work for me? Blah, 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 blah. And put you into like, it's fucking done. I'm doing it. Like, this is now what's happening and I'm on the path. And now I just get to wake up every day excited that I'm one day closer, right? And that is such a different energy. Okay, and then we have today's reel, which I just posted, day 7 of 90, where I'm talking about how manifestation is like a massage. And I feel like this is like one of my best metaphors yet. So the other day I did a Fit with Coco workout. Oh my gosh, I love her workouts, guys. Like, they have completely transformed my body along with the recodes. And I was so sore. I could barely step down the stairs. I was camping over the weekend, and every time I had to step down out of the van, I was like, ugh, like I had to go down sideways to like compensate because my legs were giving out. And it had me thinking about manifestation. Obviously, I relate everything to manifestation. And when you have knots or tightness or strains in your muscles, you cannot move to your fullest capacity, right? If you don't deal with those right away with certain recovery tools, you will start to compensate by moving differently, favoring a different side. And over time, this will begin to exacerbate the issues by creating muscle imbalances and more injuries throughout the body, right? This is why professional athletes need to dedicate so much time to recovery or they won't be able to do their job. And this is exactly the same with your mind and manifestation, okay? When you have these limiting beliefs, think of like a fresh limiting belief as like a sore muscle. It's not a big deal when you address it right away, but like if you don't address it, it turns into like it turns into this big issue, right? Because whatever you don't address, you start compensating for or behaving in ways that creates more issues. So for example, if you believe you're bad with money, you start avoiding handling your money, which only creates more and more financial trouble down the road, right? And the longer you avoid or start taking on these avoidant or compensating behaviors with limiting beliefs, the more they lock into your identity. The more you believe I'm bad with money because I can't handle my money, the more it literally all compounds. And here is the crazy part, because the majority of limiting beliefs are installed within us from the ages of 0 to 7. You have basically grown up with, let's call it this like sore spot that you've been compensating for your entire life, but you don't know any different. You don't know that sore spot isn't normal. You actually don't realize how good your body or how good your mind or how good your life is meant to feel, because this is normal to you. This is just who you've been. This is how it's been for you. So you don't even realize that's a limiting belief, right? And to me, the act of manifesting and the tools that I provide inside the Recode app is like a total body massage and alignment session for your mind. So Recode is like the masseuse. If you make it part of your lifestyle, it's like getting a massage or physio or acupuncture, whatever it is, every single week before the limiting beliefs start creating negative behaviors and lackluster results. We're cleaning them up and we're keeping you in alignment. And when you stay on top of the little knots and niggles in your mind, they can be cleared quickly and easily so you can go back to playing at your highest potential, right? Like, it's only when you ignore them that they start getting louder and louder until you listen. And what that looks like is the things that you don't want manifesting into your reality more and more and more until you finally address them, right? Who has experienced this? I have, for sure. So for day 7, I encourage you to find whatever your mindset massage is, whatever it is that allows you to loosen the resistance. Maybe it's tapping, maybe it's the Recode app, maybe it's journaling, maybe it's visualization, meditation, whatever. You have to make it part of your lifestyle. You can't just go for a massage once and be like, I'm good to go, and keep working out every single day, right? Like, manifestation is a lifestyle. And again, I know I keep talking about the Recode app and I'm sorry, but like, I'm really obsessed with it. Obviously, I've spent so much time creating it and I just love it so much. And that's why I created it, because I want to make manifestation part of your lifestyle and I want you to be able to do it on the go. And I want to make it as easy as possible for you to completely transform your life and just feel incredible. So think of it as like the Recode, which is 22 minutes. You only do it once a week, maybe even every 10 days. Depends how long you want to stick with the Recode. That is like your total body alignment massage session, right? And then the daily rise and rest that are done on the go, they fit into your life, and the seeking evidence, that is like your mobility, your stretching, you're keeping yourself in tip-top shape throughout the week so you can perform at your highest level, right? So that is where we are at so far, and my results so far in this challenge is that I have increased my monthly income by about $1,500 a month, passive income, in the last week, and it's only going to keep getting better and better, so I'm very excited for that. And what else? I have gained a bunch of followers on Instagram. I'm getting the most amount of new followers that I've had in years on Instagram, so that's very exciting. What else has shifted? Oh, I've just made some like really big, powerful decisions about my future that I'm sure you guys will learn about in time, that feel really purposeful and intentional and like I know are leading me to big, incredible things. And I haven't been able to make those decisions until like I started really diving into this challenge and making these decisions for myself. So I am making the moves, I'm doing the big, scary things, and I'm allowing it to be easy. And I'm also deciding that it is freaking done, which is my Recode this week. So if you want to join me, come follow along, get inside the Recode app. You have a 10-day free trial, try it out. And if you have any questions, please email me, message me on Instagram. If you have Recode requests, put them, there's a little section inside the app where you can see what's coming up and you can request Recodes. People are sending me the best requests. And I promise, like, as long as it's not like a super custom Recode, because I obviously charge for like customized Recodes that are very specific to like your beliefs. As long as it can be applied, you know, to a group of people that I'm sure will benefit from it, I will make it for you. So I have one coming up that someone requested around like overthinking and anxiety spiraling and like really kind of being able to just feel capable and you can handle what comes as it comes instead of like spiraling before anything ever happens. I have one coming up for someone who is coming off a GLP-1 and has a lot of limiting beliefs around their ability to maintain their weight with a GLP-1. I have so many ideas for that one. I'm also going to put that one inside Hot Happy Healed for my Hot Happy Healed people listening. And then I also have someone requested last night that I thought was brilliant, a like clean and organized one for people that struggle with like keeping their home free of clutter and they're just like scattered and feeling disorganized. And like, I can definitely relate to that. And all of these things, guys, are just patterns and beliefs that we've developed over time. The only difference between you, if you're super messy and disorganized and whatever, and someone who is like super on top of shit and their house stays clean all the time, is literally just the way that you view yourself, your identity, and then the behaviors that stem from that. Like, it's so fascinating to me how the brain works and how it shapes our entire realities and all of our behaviors and all of our habits, which then creates our entire life. So when we can tackle those behaviors and habits at the root, we can change, we can become whoever we desire to be in this lifetime. And why wouldn't you want to live to your highest potential and fullest expression and live your like happiest, most fulfilled life? Like, so love you guys. Click down below to join us and follow along on the 90-day manifesting a quote unquote impossible, but it's now going to be easy goal in 90 days.